Welcome back to day five in a row of my daily vlogs. Going to talk a little bit about a few things today. Again, my rants and raves for the day, and what's gotten me most, or is on top of my mind the most. And to start with, I want to briefly talk about my group coaching program. It's called Growth Marketing Mindset, and I'm considering actually changing it over to let's just put this on here real quick. I'm changing it possibly over to a free membership versus a paid membership. And I'm thinking about actually adding 2 more meetings to it. So right now we meet Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'm thinking about changing it up a little bit and adding 2 more days. So I'd also do Wednesdays and Thursdays possibly, and then break down each day by different types of teachings or trainings about business, right? So on Tuesdays, it might be what I consider like business builders and or branding. So this would be, fully about business development. And then Wednesdays might be focused around what I tend to teach most, which is about micro automated services for small business consultants and digital agency owners. And then Thursdays would be about affiliate marketing and basically doing freelance high ticket sales. All right. And I'm just thinking that what I want to do is I basically want to grow the group a lot bigger, a lot faster. And if I can provide a lot more value through various specific types of training, then I can reach a wider audience and help a lot more people and serve a lot more people. So that will be what I think I'm going to do. I haven't fully decided that yet, but even if I do go that route, please feel free to go to kerrysgroupcoaching.com anyway and sign up for the wait list. And then if I change over to this model, I will be able to contact you via email and let you know what's changed, when it's changed, and give you guys the appropriate access to the various meetings that we'll be having on a weekly basis. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that quickly and cover that. And then on a second thought to that, I use a service called deadlinefunnel.com. If you haven't heard of it or used it yet, you should check it out. But it basically allows me to do some really cool things with offers. So if I decide to promote something like my group coaching program or a particular product or service or something along those lines, I can set up a countdown timer and set it up in various ways, whether it's evergreen or it's an actual date that the actual offer expires. And but however, it utilizes my email marketing service, which I use ActiveCampaign for. And it's supposed to integrate with that seamlessly, and it has not been working for me as it's supposed to. And unfortunately seems to be an isolated incident just to my own Deadline Funnel account. And it's been very frustrating, to say the least, over the last week and a half of not being able to utilize it correctly, which really helps me determine, whether or not I can keep my offer open for X number of days or hours or whatever the case may be. And then, of course, it's got true scarcity to it then with the deadline. And once that deadline expires, you can no longer get access to that particular program or membership or whatever the case may be, whatever I'm attempting to offer or sell. So I've been working with them, and they're trying to fix it and roll out a update to get it working for me. And when I went through the first round of support with them, ironically enough, it seemed like they could get it working with their own account, with my own ActiveCampaign account. They were able to connect it to their own Deadline Funnel account, but of course I cannot get it to connect to my own Deadline Funnel account. So there's definitely something buggy going on there, and I'm waiting for them to get the fix for it. So until then, I'm keeping an eye on deciding whether or not I'm going to keep Growth Marketing Insiders and or Growth Marketing Mindset open for enrollment right now, or if I'm going to be closing it down sooner than later. Normally I would have it set up with a Deadline Funnel, and I would have already probably had it closed down by now from the time I had opened it up. But with this issue involved, now it's making me second guess whether or not I should close it down right now or leave it open for the remainder until I get this deadline funnel kink worked out. So we'll see how that goes, and I'll keep you updated with that as I figure it out. Day 2 of the Buyers from Scratch Challenge. I was going to cover a little bit about that. We talked today about core desires. Yesterday, I let you in on basically Cliff Notes version of what we talked about in day 1 of the Buyers from Scratch Challenge. But today was day number 2, and it was all about core desires and basically brain dumping wants and aspirations of your audience. Also brain dumping the fears and frustrations your audience goes through, and just figuring out what all those things are in order to come up with basically what they call a desired, let me pull up my notes on it here, the deepest core desire, the DCD, deeper desire. And that also includes what they say is the unspoken qualifier, right? So we wrote down, or you can write down, exclusive qualifiers and inclusive qualifiers. So for example, if you're doing a weight loss program, you might want to say something like, an exclusive qualifier would be, I want to lose weight, but I don't want to go to the gym. An inclusive qualifier would be, I want to lose weight, but I want to exercise from home. Just to give you some quick examples of what those qualifiers really are and how they work. Excuse me. Easier to sell, sometimes it's easier to sell avoidance of pain or, relief of pain than to sell pleasure or, some sort of ascension, right? However, depending on what you're selling or what type of product or service you offer, the avoidance of pain doesn't always make a whole lot of sense. And, you really need to understand where your ideal customer or client is in their mind, and then empathize with that exactly. That's the best way to figure out the core desires of your ideal audience or customer. And so, it basically boils down to, what are they moving away from, and then what are they moving towards, right? So once you figure that out, that's the easiest way to figure out exactly how your product or service fits in alignment with those beliefs. And then when you have those beliefs dialed in, you are able to then make a whole lot more sales for your actual product or service that you're offering. So, that was basically in, just a few simple terms or simple ways about exactly what we talked about, or what was talked about today on that challenge. So there you go. There's the Cliff Notes version of the Buyers from Scratch Challenge, day number 2. On another note, I've been thinking about this recently, and I just posted one of the Facebook groups I started a while back called Las Vegas Residents, but basically youth sports in Nevada, right? So depending on where you're tuning in from, where you're from and all that, there's been a lot of sports opened up in other states. I think like Utah, for instance, hasn't really had a crackdown or lockdown on youth sports at all. In fact, in some areas like St. George, Utah, they basically have gone to school as normal. All their sports has been played as normal. They are just not having as much lockdown as far as COVID-19 concerns, restrictions are concerned. And, as of February 17th here in Nevada, Steve Sisolak, our governor, said full contact sports through the NAIA has been approved, but each county and school district has to submit plans on how they're handling the COVID restrictions. So, for instance, here in Clark County, the school district basically hasn't been able to figure it out, and it's been very, very frustrating, obviously, for all the high school and middle school students who have not been able to resume any type of scholastic sports. And then on top of that, inside of the actual documented guide that they published on the 17th of February, they also stated that travel clubs, private leagues, rec leagues, and centers and park district sports programs still cannot partake in full contact sports. And those sports that they listed in example were football, basketball, rugby, wrestling, boxing, hockey, lacrosse, group cheer, group dance, water polo, martial arts, pair figure skating, etc. So in other words, because they're so worried that they won't be able to get, you know, uh, qualified submitted plans from these, either from a basketball club, a hockey club, a football club, whatever, or any of these other private leagues that you could partake in for either basketball or football or whatever it might be. They are like, nope, we're just not going to let you do these sports from our guidelines, because we don't want any unnecessary risk being taken, even though I'm sure every single one of these private leagues or rec leagues or rec centers or whatever it might be, district sports programs, travel clubs, etc., would all be more than willing to submit their guidelines and proposals in order to get approved, in order to be able to allow these full contact sports to resume. And so we're just waiting patiently and such, with that. We've had to travel out of state to go to any basketball tournaments. We've either had to go to Utah, or we've had to go to Arizona, to Phoenix, or we've even gotten to play once, but we could have gone and played more than once over in California, which California was locked down even more strict than Nevada for the most part. So it really makes no sense to why exactly we're still seeing all this lockdown. And luckily, they're actually approved like some outdoor type sports when it comes to, let's see, what does the list show here? Indoor outdoor sports for minimal contact sports. So that would include baseball, softball, soccer, volleyball, flag football, multi-person rowing, fencing, kickball, etc. as their examples. So that is resuming. Tournaments may resume on Monday, March 15th, 2021, if a plan is approved. If that particular tournament, or for whatever one of those sports, submits their plan and gets it approved by the state, I guess, or the COVID-19 special guidance protocols, or whatever you want to call it. So we're just sitting around waiting and hoping and seeing what's going to happen and what's going to transpire. And hopefully on the next update we get from our governor, we will be able to resume full contact sports for travel clubs, private leagues and clubs, recreational leagues and centers, park district sports programs, and more for those sports I already mentioned. More specifically, obviously, for basketball, because that's the one we care about the most, and group cheer, I guess, because my daughter also partakes in that. So, there's that. Anyway, yeah. So, that was pretty much, in a nutshell, some of my top thoughts of the day. And yeah, with that being said, I guess that's all I got for you. I'm going to throw this ticker up real quick at the bottom. Let me see how that works. Let's see if it shows up. Yeah, tune in to watch or listen to my weekly podcast, the Kerry Knoll Show, at kerryspodcast.com. Again, I'm just going to plug that real quick, because I should have a new episode on Thursday. So that otherwise, until then, you could tune in and watch or listen to the first 5 episodes I think I have so far done, or something like that. So those are available at that link, kerryspodcast.com, where you can, I think it goes to Anchor FM, where you can then tune in to my podcast on your favorite podcasting channel, or you can go to my YouTube channel and also watch the video there, where basically it's me on camera talking to you, such as I am right now. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. I see I've got so many people watching again. I just can't believe it. So thank you so much for watching. And again, I'm still waiting for that very first comment to come in so I can take that and display it with this cool streaming service that I'm using called StreamYard. Again, that's a plug for StreamYard in case anyone's listening. Check it out. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, I think I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to hit the bike and get a workout in. And and then get back to some more work. And with that being said, I'll hopefully see you guys or talk to you guys tomorrow. And if I think of anything else in the meantime that's really pressing or important before tomorrow's call or before tomorrow's live event, I will definitely hop on for a second one and keep you informed with what's going on day to day, minute to minute, hour by hour, or hour. Let's see, it should have went day to day, hour by hour, minute to minute. There we go. That's the right order. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great day, and I'll speak with you tomorrow. Take care.